He was a man who had everything the world could offer: wealth, power, respect. But none of it mattered anymore. Alone in his towering glass mansion, Alexander Gray stared out at the city that once adored him, now feeling like a stranger in his own life. The media painted him as cold, unfeeling, and untouchable. But behind that polished exterior was a heart shattered by betrayal and loss. 5 years ago, the woman he thought was his soulmate had left him for another man, leaving him broken, skeptical of love, and withdrawn from the world. Little did he know, fate had something unexpected waiting for him. On a rainy Thursday morning, in a small cafe tucked away in a quiet street, Emma Carter spilled coffee all over a stranger's briefcase. The stranger, drenched and fuming, was none other than Alexander Gray himself. But instead of yelling, Emma apologized with sincerity and a gentle smile that made Alexander pause. Her eyes, bright and kind, seemed to see past the hardened exterior he had built around himself. "You're going to ruin my day," he muttered. But there was something in her calm presence that disarmed him. Emma was just an ordinary girl. She worked at the cafe, loved painting in her free time, and had a heart that always reached out to others. She didn't care about wealth or status, and that was exactly what intrigued Alexander. Over time, their encounters grew, from spilled coffee to casual conversations, from laughter over shared jokes to quiet moments in the corner of the cafe. Alexander, who had avoided emotional connections for years, found himself opening up in ways he hadn't imagined. But healing a broken heart isn't simple. Alexander's past haunted him. His trust had been shattered, and the world whispered that no one could ever change the man he had become. Emma sensed his walls but refused to be intimidated. She showed patience, kindness, and understanding, small gestures that slowly began to chip away at his defenses. She listened when he needed to vent, laughed when he tried to joke, and offered comfort when tears he thought no one would ever see welled up. One evening, as the city lights reflected off the glass walls of his penthouse, Alexander confessed his fears. "I'm scared, Emma. Scared of being hurt again. Scared of letting someone in." Emma took his hand and said softly, "Alexander, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let yourself be vulnerable. Love isn't about guarantees. It's about trust, and I'll be here." Her words struck a chord deeper than he expected. For the first time in years, Alexander allowed himself to hope. Their relationship blossomed slowly, built on trust, honesty, and shared dreams. Emma didn't just see Alexander as a billionaire. She saw the man beneath the wealth, the man who had been wounded, but still had a capacity for love and kindness. But life wasn't done testing them. Alexander's ex-wife returned, seeking reconciliation, threatening to undo all the progress he had made. The media caught wind of their story, painting Emma as an intruder in the billionaire's life. Alexander felt torn between his past and his present. He nearly succumbed to old fears, but Emma's unwavering support reminded him who he truly wanted to be, with someone who loved him for him, not his fortune. In a public press conference that shook the city, Alexander made a bold decision. He spoke not as a billionaire, but as a man reborn. He acknowledged his mistakes, his vulnerabilities, and most importantly, his love for Emma. It was a declaration that stunned everyone but strengthened the bond between them. Months passed. Alexander and Emma continued their journey together, facing challenges but always supporting one another. Alexander found joy in giving back, funding charities, and using his influence to make a difference, something Emma had always inspired him to do. Emma, meanwhile, pursued her passion for painting, supported by Alexander in every step. The story of the beautiful girl who healed a broken billionaire became more than just a tale of love. It became a story of resilience, trust, and the power of kindness. Alexander learned that no amount of wealth could heal the heart the way love could. Emma discovered that love sometimes requires patience, courage, and belief in the goodness of another person. Together, they proved that even the most broken hearts could be mended. In the end, Alexander and Emma stood on the balcony of their shared home, looking at the city below. He held her hand tightly and whispered, "You saved me, Emma, not just from loneliness, but from myself." She smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. We saved each other. And in that moment, they realized that true wealth wasn't measured in money or power, but in the love, trust, and hope that two hearts could share.